Tried all the ways to feel alive, but except for you, everything's now empty. If you ask me for the same I'll die. You don't want for me, but like me it's plenty. You make me do things that I want to. Cause without you I don't feel alone. You see I'm lonely lately, but without you empty. All I do is crazy. You see I'm lonely lately, but without you empty. All I do is just for you. You make me do things that I want to. Cause without you I don't feel alone. All I do is just for you.
Adam Lautka says hola. Adam Lautka says no mic.
Good morning. How you doing, Adam? -5 behind. -5, so UTC -5?
Adam Lautka says tired. Finished entry into a 3D competition last week, had to almost go to the hospital during it. This week more or less arguing at home between my priorities of working on my portfolio and going to college.
Sorry to hear you got all that going on, Adam. I will say it's better that you're confronting it instead of ignoring it. But still, sorry to hear that.
I'm into you. I play it cool, but you call my bluff. It's a passion that I can't cover up. Singing melodies just for you, dancing LEDs in the room, light up your pretty little face. Don't know why.
Where is
L_Agenho says happening.
Morning Ragano? How you doing?
Adam Loudcar says, how have you been, by the way? Been a while.
Good, good. Thanks for asking. Ragano, I saw you playing. I was lurking yesterday while I was working. Had a lot of shit happen yesterday. I didn't have time to say hi. I hate just dropping a hi and nothing else. You know what I mean? Adam, I'm good. Thanks for asking.
L_Rajanho says I'm good. Waiting for my lunch to arrive. Oh, I was getting beat down yesterday.
Yeah, I noticed. A little bit. What I caught. I think I caught you win one and then lose one. To some fighter that had like her knee up the whole time. I'm like, how is that a good stance? Why am I lost? I mean, generally I'm lost. But like... counters, timers, modules? No.
No Hujiro says my Uber driver from the other day that was doing a master's in infotech with cybersecurity added me on Discord today. D.
That's cool. That's the one you shared that exploit with. Very cool. And I ran your POC. Mine's patched for it as well. So they have me going through processes. Looking for one that runs as system. And looking for a read file or write file.
No Hujiro says gutting. Good to try though, smile.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's a great one. I mean, it's a really good one. Like the most recent patch update mitigates it. So if any Windows machine is not running the most latest patch, it's susceptible to it.
No Hujiro says I made sure all the systems at work were patched for it this week.
Good idea. I have done this now. Like what, 5 times? I'm trying to think how many voice things I have. I think I have like 6 voice things.
No Hujiro says, have you found anything based on what they asked you to check?
I mean, yeah, I found some things like system processes running as... That's all the farther I got yesterday. I found system processes running as system. So now I got to go through those and I have to look for read write to see if we can hijack a process. I'm really out of my element. And I'm telling them that over and over again. Like this is new for me, so I'm, I keep I've asked a couple times
Adam
to like
Loudcar
walk
says
through
maybe
them.
you should consider doing audiobooks. I never noticed this, but your voice, it's rather soothing.
Oh, shucks, thank you. I thought about that too. I don't know how you go about voiceover work. But thanks. Wait a minute.
No Hujiro says this is the image you said they have rolled out to a customer, right? I imagine they've already done a bunch of checks on it, they're just getting many eyes on the problem, and I guess it'll help you build up your own process.
Yeah, this is, yes. Yep, I gotta watch how specific I am. But yeah, yep, the image I have is on other machines. My brain is like, they probably have something out there and they're waiting for you to find it. Hi, Leon. You come say hi? I've pet you now 3 times this morning. How many more times do I have to pet you?
No Hujiro says I'd love to look at it, but I imagine that would be against company policy, XD.
Yeah, I've thought about that, but I can't pet you.
says SC-900 talk to me.
You're laying right behind me. How can I pet you? Come here.
Adam Loudcar says what you got there?
I got a
Cat or a
cat.
dog?
He's laying right behind my chair. If I move, I'm gonna roll over.
says both.
There, he's gone.
Adam Loudcar says cat dog.
Yeah, I have both. But that was the cat.
Wapinin says cat is really cool, dog is afraid of cat.
Loaf, I mean, I have all the specs. I got all the build, I got all that information. They've mentioned to ASIM bypass, AMIS.
No Hujiro says AMSI.
Yeah. AMSI bypass. No, I know
says
what
is an SC-900 and do you have one for sale?
Yeah.
No Hujiro says anti-malware scan interface.
Yep. And priv-esque is what the terms they gave me to search up to look for something.
Wapinin says sounds like a great motorbike. No Hujiro says you can disable it in a PowerShell window. No Hujiro says which allows you to run scripts that would normally be blocked.
I'm not sure. I could try that. I mean, is that the same as bypassing? Is just disabling it? Am I going crazy? No.
Wapinin says ASMR might help you get over the anxiety of malware. No Hujiro says I think there's a THM rim on AMSI bypasses.
dance in the dark. I had some demons in my heart. I've been carried them around, but I didn't fall apart. I came a long way to pass their face. Look me in the eyes while I embrace my deepest fears. No, I am safe. We step to
L_Agenho says someone on a Discord server has changed my display name to Bolson Darshol. This is 100% true BTW.
I've seen it all, but that was not the path I chose. Frequency was way too low, so I avoid, keep moving on.
All I see is Arshol in there. Bolson. Bolsund. If that's an acronym for something.
L_Agenho says balls and.
I'm only half awake.
No Hugero says https://3hackm.com/module/host evasions. No Hugero says it's likely in one of these. Wapinine says dude I have no idea where we are at.
We are doing SC-900.
Arkham's Angels Asylum says good morning.
Good morning, Arkham's Asylum. We're doing SC-900, but I had created a new
No
audio
Hugero says
redeem.
https://treehackm.com/r/room/runtime detection evasion.
But I can't even look at it. Excuse me.
No Hugero says https://imager.com/a/795 wo-sq.
Thanks, love. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, downgrade. I've heard of downgrade.
Wapinine says bite the bullet, pick one of the box hacking vendors and buy a sub so you can access all the content, bro.
I've done that and I've wasted money. So I'm being deliberate in making sure that the platform has what I want. And then I'll buy a month.
Says, No Hugero says PowerShell version 2 didn't have MC. That's the downgrade.
You're making our love worse. You're breaking my heart with every breath you
Wapinine says okay, well tell me where you wasted money so I don't make the same mistake. Please don't say HTB.
No, I wasted money by not using the service that I was paying for. So I went month after month of paying for the service and I didn't study, I didn't use it.
Wapinine says okay. No Hugero says the rest of the bypasses are things like obfuscation, reflection and patching, which you can get most of the info from payloads or thievings, or hack tricks.
remember last year. How'd it go? There was nothing inside to just let go. Can't even hold on, I fall apart. Wish I stayed a little while with you. It's deja vu when I'm with you. Where did our time go again? You let it get to you. It left me blue.
All right, I got it lined up for work.
Waphining says I sometimes feel like there's not even enough time for me to prepare for the even first step on the cybersecurity ladder, you know.
Yep. You know it helps. Oh my god, that was YouTube.
Waphining says I kinda flopped on my first stream, to be honest.
Which stream? On Twitch?
Waphining says yeah.
Oh, well. You should have seen mine.
No Hujiro says is it really a success unless you fail first?
It's a good point.
No Hujiro says the only winners are those that keep on trying and keep on going despite their failures. No Hujiro says keep getting better, keep pushing, keep trying. No Hujiro says, and when you get to the top of the ladder, give me a leg up smile.
Stream store. God, this is so.
Broken faces. Everybody got a line, it's time to cross it. I've never seen so many people ain't believing themselves. You only got one life, time to make it right. Somewhere far away, there is a place where we could disappear. Wanna go to places I've never seen before, where these new horizons are open the door. I'll spread my wings and fly away.
Sound effects looking 0.
Says, hey, yeah, Theo. Good evening.
Hey, Zerks. How you doing? All right, now it gets chat command. Excuse me. Is that it? Exclamation point looking.
Zisk says I'm doing great. Gonna host my boot to root challenge. We'll share the link soon. Try it out.
Absolutely.
No Hujiro says oh yes, please share.
Yep. Loaf will take a crack at it. What? Wasn't even close.
Cypher Enigma says,
There's any cats in the
hallway
hallway, you
cats.
better get the stepping.
Hack the Planet says morning.
Good morning, Tagora.
Hack the Planet says, HTP.
What? How? Say everyone redeem how. Looking, say everyone. What?
We ain't found shit.
Oof. Oh, I must have tapped that on accident.
I'm sorry, Dave. I'm afraid I can't do that.
Save.
I'm sorry, Dave. I'm afraid I can't do that.
Well, that was, Alright, well, hopefully it'll be a lot easier next time now that I did that without a guide. I had another branch fall yesterday.
Cypher Enigma says GMBTW.
Good morning. It fell on the power line connected to the house and a corner of the house. I hate this tree with a passion. I really hate it.
No Hujiro says frown. Hack the planet says douse it in kerosene and burn it.
Honestly. All right, Microsoft Entra ID. Formerly Azure Active Directory is Microsoft's cloud-based identity and access management service. Organizations use Microsoft Entra ID to enable their employees, guests, and others to sign in and access resources they need, including internal resources. Guess what? I've read this already. I remember that graphic. Who uses Microsoft Entra ID? Admins to control access to corporate apps and resources based on business requirements. For example, Microsoft Entra ID can be also set up to require multi-factor authentication when accessing important organizational resources. Provides powerful tools to automatically help protect users' identities and credentials and to meet an organization's access governance requirements. Developers use Microsoft Entra ID as a standards-based approach for adding single sign-on to their apps so that users can sign in with their pre-existing credentials. Microsoft Entra ID also provides application programming interfaces that allow developers to build personalized app experiences using existing organizational data. Describe types of identities. In Microsoft Entra, there are different types of identities that are supported. The terms you'll hear are introduced in this unit are user identities, workload identities, device identities, external identities, and hybrid identities. User, workload, device, external, hybrid. Okay, all those make sense except for workload. When you ask the question, to what can I assign an identity in Microsoft Entra, there are three categories. You can assign identities to people, humans. Examples of identities assigned to people are employees of an organization that are typically configured as internal users and external users that include customers, consultants, vendors, and partners. For our purposes, we'll refer to these as user identities. You can assign identities to physical devices such as mobile phones, desktop computers, and IoT devices. Lastly, you can assign identities to software-based objects such as applications, virtual machines, services, and containers. These identities are referred to as workload identities. people, devices, software-based objects. User identities represent people such as employees and external users. In Microsoft Entra ID, user identities are characterized by how they authenticate in the user type property. How the user authenticates is asked relative to the host's organization's Microsoft Entra tenant and can be internal or external. Internal authentication means that the user has an account on the host organization's Microsoft Entra ID and uses that account to authenticate to Microsoft Entra ID. External authentication means that the user authenticates using an external Microsoft Entra account that belongs to another organization, social network identity, or other external identity provider. The user type property describes the user's relationships to the organization, or more specifically, the organization's tenancy. The user can be a guest or a member of the organization's Microsoft Entra tenant. By default, guests of the organization have limited privileges in the organization's directory relative to the members of the organization. What the fuck did I just read? I'm just decimating my fucking fingers.
Rolling down the windows, let the sun shine through. Just cruising down the interstate. We could go wherever as long as I'm with you. Don't care what anyone will say. They say I'm crazy, I lost my mind. Packing my life up, leave it behind. But with you, baby, no, I'll be fine. So let's hit the road, oh let's hit the road. Wherever you go, whenever it gets cold, I'm gonna follow whatever you do. No matter where, just know I'll be with you. Red light, I wanna kiss you at every red light. But we could go wherever you like. So baby, let's get lost in all of those headlights. One hand on the wheel, your other hand in mine. A feeling nothing can replace. Let's both run away and face the big blue sky. Get up and leave this place. They say we're crazy, we lost our minds. Packing our lives up, leave them behind.
Internal member. These users are typically considered employees of your organization. The user authenticates internally via their organization's Microsoft Entra ID. And the user object created in the resource Microsoft Entra directory has a user type of member. An external guest. External users or guests, including consultants, vendors, partners, typically fall in this category. The user authenticates using an external Microsoft Entra account or an external identity provider, such as a social identity. The user object created in the resource Microsoft Entra directory has a user type of guest, giving them limited guest level permissions. Like I read them left to right up here, but then we start internal member, internal guest. Oh no, internal member.
Lorio says, what the hell did you just read?
External, for real. External member, external member, external guest. My God, really? Internal member, external guest. External member. This scenario is common in organizations consisting of multiple tenants. Consider the scenario where Contoso Microsoft Entra tenant and the Fabricam Microsoft Entra tenant are tenants within one large organization. Users from Contoso tenant need member level access to resources in Fabricam. In this scenario, Contoso users are configured in the Fabricam Microsoft Entra directory such that they authenticate with their Contoso account.
Ice_black_ice says, whip whip everyone.
Ice Black Ice, good morning. How you doing?
Ice_black_ice says, very good, and you?
You know it. Good. Cypher, we're going to be taking the Raspberry Pi on the road on Sunday. The bus is leaving at... Buses sounds deceiving.
Ice says, did you check this video? https://www.youtube.com/watch?v=FJQB6TC.
Oh shit, I thought it was a Rickroll.
Says, be cool. Did you sort the controllers? Ice_black_ice says, I'm thinking of taking that.
I figured it was probably about time I updated it. Remember, the SC-900, the Security, Compliance and Identity Fundamentals, is a fundamentals exam. It's generally pretty rapid fire questions, really...
Cypher Enigma says, did you just buy a nice one for yourself so you can dominate?
I literally was just thinking of that. I was just thinking about doing that.
Ice_black_ice says, this guy is a legend on MS material, have fun.
Okay, I appreciate it. Study Cram version 2, huh? 2 hours. The local Best Buy, I think, has a 3D 8-bit 3D.
Says, you totally should, just as a joke.
I used both of them yesterday, like in a 2-player game, and it worked. I played Mario, and they both worked. Those chintzy ones. So yeah, I was thinking about buying myself this nice 8-bit Super Nintendo. Oh, look at that. That's a stick one. And I saw this thing. This is a wireless adapter for most controllers?
Cypher Enigma says I'd buy a full controller. It can emulate more than the Tira.
I think my son has an Xbox style controller. Yeah, so you think I should get one with like full like triggers and everything instead of a... I guess that's not a bad idea. The one I have is a wired Logitech.
Cypher Enigma says how much you want to do with it, but it can do more.
Oh, shit, I was just talking about playing games with it. Does it have the shoulder pads? Yeah, that's a full one. Oh, they don't have it. I guess that one's similar. What is that? Are those back paddles? Oh, it has both. How big is it? Oh, it's standard size. Wow, look at that mapping. Oh, it's in the dock. It doesn't come with one. Does it come with one? Gosh, $60 is... Or I could just get the stick and use one of my PlayStation controllers.
3, 2, 1, go!
Because I think you could do that too.
Trying to understand if you know which solution to use to meet what requirement an organization may have. You don't have to know any of the technology is super deep. It really is just, hey, I have a broad understanding of what the different things can do. In terms of preparing for the exam, the best resource you have is to actually go to the SC-900 fundamentals webpage. And if you scroll down, it talks about preparing for the exam, and there's a free online course. So I really would recommend you just go through the entire course, and it will put you in a great position. There's practice assessments. You can experience the sandbox, which is the actual exam environment. So you don't get stressed out about, well, what's it going to be like? What do these buttons do? So you can actually go and try out the complete experience. It's telling you there's 45 minutes to complete the assessment. It talks about the exam policy. You can schedule the exam. And there's even a great study guide. So the study guide will walk through the specifics of what has been updated, and then what are the core skills you need to have. So the goal would be, you can go through this document and tick all the boxes, say, yep, I understand all of those different capabilities, what they offer me, why I would use them. And once you've gone through that Microsoft Learn site, you will have that. You'll be in a great position to go through. Remember, it isn't just about Azure. This is the Microsoft complete set. So it's Azure, it's Entra, it's Microsoft 365, and all the different solutions that may even extend beyond Azure and the Microsoft ecosystem, maybe some partner solutions and what Microsoft security solutions exist that might help for other clouds even. So we're going to go through all of that. So with all of that, let's just get started. So again, the goal of this is it's a review of some of the core principles, maybe watch it just before you take the exam to just cement some of those core things in your mind. One of the biggest focus areas is this idea of shared responsibility. Because if I think about any kind of solution, there's different layers to that solution. I can think about, well, great, there's the information and data that's associated with something. There are devices, there are identities. Then I can think, okay, well, there's probably identity infrastructure. What actually enables that identity to be authenticated, to leverage?
All I think about right now is how much I want a smart board. I could have little meetings with the family in the kitchen. We could put it in the kitchen on the wall. Okay. 6 a.m. Saturday. Tall Bean's got to get on the bus to the track meet. Cross country meet. We are leaving the house at 8 a.m. to arrive at 9 a.m. He runs at 9:15.
Cypher Enigma says you'd get your elephants back because that's more
this could be where
cringe.
your resources sit. This could be how
A smart board?
I talk to the solution. It's going to be an operating system. And then all those things actually run on hosts. Those hosts live on a physical network, which live in a physical data center. So there's all these different components, and the point of the shared responsibility model is depending on what I'm using, the responsibility shifts. So for example, if I am on premises...
Oh! Memo Twitch. Welcome.
You may potentially hire some managed provider to come and...
Memo Twitch. My Italian brother from another mother. How you doing, Memo? I hope you're well. Welcome, Raiders, to Painful IT. I'm your host, Theo. I know, right? Theo that we know has glorious locks and a fantastic stash.
Memo _ Twitch says riff rate inbound.
That's about
raised
right.
Fist, raised fist, raised fist.
I'm the other Theo. Think of me as great value Theo. No hair. I could grow a pretty good mustache actually. Check it out. Oh yeah. Well, Memo, I hope you're well. Hope all is well.
Cypher Enigma says a parallel universe kind of Theo, you might say. Rusus.
Are you saying what I think you're saying? I forget the name of I'm desperately like trying to remember the name of the planet.
Memo_Twitch says everything's okay, thanks. You? Cypher Enigma says I'm just saying you've confirmed the existence of parallel universes.
Cool. And since I've done that, I've confirmed the existence of a parallel universe Theo that...
Cypher Enigma says therefore giving life to the meme.
That may or may not punch grandmas for delicious ice cream.
Cypher Enigma says exactly.
You were here for it. Now think of how much more compelling my argument would be with a smartboard.
Codenim says hello Theo.
Codenim, how you doing? Why is he wearing a belt buckle on his wrist? I have so many questions. This video is making
Cypher
me
Enigma
feel
says
things.
okay, but your kids are going to dunk on you if you can't chart their life.
They already dunk on me.
Codenum says I think it's a fitness tracking band.
And in between doing these
Cypher
courses on
Enigma says
YouTube, what's his WWE personality? I deserve that. I deserve that. I tried to give myself applause, and I booed myself. Well, Codenim, how you doing today? What's going on?
Codename says I'm doing good, a bit of a stressful week so far.
You'll have that. Oh, look, I'm live. Okay, back to this nonsense. I don't understand why they flip-flop between explaining it this way, external and internal, versus internal member, external guest, external member, internal guest. Like, what is the purpose of that? An internal member is usually considered employees of your organization. An external guest includes consultants, vendors, and partners. An external member is common in organizations consisting of multiple tenants. An internal guest exists when organizations who collaborate with distributors, suppliers, and vendors set up internal Microsoft Entra accounts for these users, but designate them as guests by setting their user object user type to guest. External guests and external members are business to business. Collaboration users that fall under the category of external identities in Microsoft Entra. Workload identities is an identity you assign a software workload. This enables the software workload to authenticate to and access other services and resources. Securing your workload identities is important because, unlike a human user, a software workload may deal with multiple credentials to access different resources, and those credentials need to be stored securely. It's also hard to track when a workload identity is created or when it should be revoked.
No Hujiro says internal equals your own directory, external equals someone else's, or another identity provider.
Okay. Thanks, Loaf.
Sleeping Gaxel says morning. I'm really tired.
Thus your name. Good morning. Welcome back, Sleeping Axel. How you doing? Tired, huh? Maybe take a little nap. 15 minutes.
Sleeping Gaxel says on my way to Walmart at 5:46 a.m.
Oof. It's 6:46 where I am. Enterprises risk applications or services being exploited or breached because of difficulties in securing workload identities. Microsoft Entra Workload ID helps resolve these issues when securing workload identities. In Microsoft Entra, workload identities are applications, service principals, and managed identities. Application and service principals. A service principal is essentially an identity for an application. For an application to delegate its identity and access functions to Microsoft Entra, the application must first be registered with Microsoft Entra ID to enable its integration. Once the application is registered, a service principal is created in each Microsoft Entra tenant where the application is used. The service principal enables core features such as authentication and authorization. Application to resources that are secured by Microsoft Entra tenant. For the service principals to be able to access resources secured by the Microsoft Entra tenant, application developers must manage and protect the credentials. Managed identities are a type of service principal that are automatically managed in Microsoft Entra and eliminate the need for developers to manage credentials. Managed identities provide an identity for applications to use when connecting to Azure resources that support Microsoft Entra authentication can be used without any extra cost. For a list of Azure services that support managed identities, refer to the Learn More section. There are two types of managed identities, system assigned and user assigned. Some Azure resources, such as virtual machines, allow you to enable a managed identity directly on the resource. When you enable a system assigned managed identity, an identity is created in Microsoft Entra that's tied to the lifecycle of that Azure resource. Because the identity is tied to the lifecycle of the Azure resource, when the resource is deleted, Azure automatically deletes the identity for you. An example where you may find a system assigned identity is what a workload contained with a single Azure resource. Jeez, oh man, I thought I was going to be done. It's a long ass chapter. Well, I'm still gonna have to work on it, and it's about that time. We're gonna raid Toggle. Thank you for hanging out with me this morning, even if it was for a little bit. Loaf, thanks for the help. Cypher, thanks for the... I'm almost talked into buying a controller for myself. Actually, I may start with that dongle first. Codenym, good to see you back. Sleeping Axel,
Cypher Enigma
same.
says and demolish them.
Yeah. Tagora, whoopin'. Have a great day.
No Hugero says see you Theo. Thanks for the stream.
Thanks for hanging out. This weekend's going to be tough. I'll post in the Discord. I may do something from the Browns game on Sunday. But this weekend's going to be tough. There's so much going on. I'll make sure I update Discord. Have a great day. If it's later where you are on Friday, enjoy your weekend. If you're in the States, you still have you still got a full work day ahead of you. Have a great day. If you are thinking about working on that next project, prioritize some time and get started.
No, but Uncle is on. So we're gonna do a raid and run there. Oh, Theo, man, I'm just gonna raid. Sorry. Welcome, raiders. We're gonna go somewhere else. Hope you had a good stream. I'm gonna go to eat because I'm dying from starvation, and I will be back possibly soon, possibly not. We'll see how things goes. All right.